Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back for another deck profile here. Now, a lot of people have been talking about like the Orcust Sky Striker list or Sky Striker Orcust or whatever. I've been doing a lot of testing with this deck. Me and my dude John have been testing a lot with this deck. Really huge fan with this deck. Fan of this deck. I actually didn't remember it being this good. Obviously, last time I think Engage was at 3. Last time we played this, or was it? Yeah, okay. I don't even remember, but the deck just flows so well. Like, I don't know, like, it's like hands don't really clump. It's kind of weird unless you draw Bombard and Wand and then you want to fucking vomit. But I got some, little text and stuff. I'm gonna go over a little bit of honorable mentions after this. Yeah, guys. So here you go. It's fucking Orcust Sky Striker. Big folk. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this deck. I know a lot of people are just kind of like, oh, dude, like, ever since Engage came back in the Orcust community, it was just like, oh, no. And I was like, yeah, dude, well, me and my boy John got on this train, too. So we've been testing with this deck a lot or whatever, so obviously 3 gears, too. You can't play this deck without this card. This card just does everything you want it to. A lot of the time about this deck, the thing I like about this deck the most is, like, this deck doesn't really lose to Dark Ruler or Droplet unless you're going second, then it does. But it's just kind of like foolproof. Like, if you know what your opponent's playing, or you know how, not what they're playing, but this is like one of those decks that like side decks just work magic with. Like, obviously that happens with most decks, but this deck especially. And there's like the built-in engine. Obviously 2 Nightmares. My whole life's a nightmare, so. Only play 2 of these. I don't think I would ever play 3 of these again unless I was playing like Pendulum or some Pen Best deck, obviously. And the deck it's very versatile. Like, you can pivot in many points or whatever in the combo and just kind of do whatever you want to do, depending on the matchup. Like, however you feel to play. So obviously 2 Symbol Skeleton. You have to play 2 of this card. I just really want to play 1, but you can't. So gotta play 2 of this. And then 2 Wand. I still think 2 Wand is just the necessity. Honestly, like, sometimes drawing this card isn't even bad. Like, sometimes you'll open like Armageddonite Wand and you're just like, oh dude, Armageddonite's really insane too. And then a couple of cards I have in honorable mentions, which I'll go over. And then I do still play the 1 Bombard. John and I were talking about this card today. Not super excited about it, but sometimes it actually there was one time against John, it got me there just a little, because it was the only Orcust discard I had in my hand for the fucking return. But that's all it did. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I still just really like the card personally, but that 1 Gizmek, the Gizboy, card's insane. Not a whole lot to say about that. And then I do play like the quote-unquote warrior package. It's not really a warrior package. I just chose to play these. I was playing Ray. I decided to cut the Ray for the Greffer. That's just my preference. I just think that these 2 together is just insane. So, and like, if you open Armageddon Knight or Greffer, you can still go Lib, and you can do like the combo that I want to do. There's a certain end board that I'll show you that I usually try and end on. So, the last monster other than hand traps is I am playing Cyberstein. So Crescendo can search this. So I just think it's very good. Like, obviously you can get Dragoons with it or whatever, but the main focus is obviously the Exterio. So this card's just very, very impactful right now in the format. So I felt like it was kind of like an option. And like, if you have like an extender or whatever, you can just summon this, pay the 5,000 for Exterio, and then like use your extender to link these 2 off. You know what I mean? So you don't leave Stein in attack mode. The only hand trap I play is the 3 Phantasme. This is probably the best hand trap right now. Most definitely, because for some reason Sky Striker is super popular. The deck's insane, but I don't know, I just think there's better decks. So plus this card actually plays a main role in the end board that I use. So and then for the Sky Striker cards, the 1 Engage, all I saw was Engage, and then the Hornet Drones, 1 Eagle Booster. I'm actually a huge fan of this card. Don't draw it a whole lot though, so I'm kind of indifferent. My dude John plays the Shark Cannon. I actually don't play Shark Cannon, but I think Shark Cannon's just a very good card. So then I am playing the 2 Widow Anchors. I think 2 of these is completely fine. What do you think, John? Good? Yeah, I think 2's the fucking correct ratio. And then for the other 1-of spells, the Babel, the Return. This is also the Succession. I think this card is just undervalued in the Striker Orcust list. I'm not sure. I saw like a bunch of lists, and people don't play this, and I'm not entirely sure why. I just think this card is just absolutely insane. Like the free Reborn, because like I want to end on Bomber, if you guys remember how that deck goes, but. And then the 1 Rhoda. Hey, dude, Hobby League that got bought out for no fucking reason. I don't understand the price of this card. I don't understand. But anyways, dude, so there's that. And then actually, in playing Reborn, I ended up cutting the 3rd droplet for Reborn. As weird as that sounds, you guys can be like, oh, dude, Sonny, you're fucking terrible in the comments. But I just kept drawing multiple droplets, or I would draw 1 droplet and then be fine, but when I was playing 3, I would draw like 2 in a hand, and I was kind of like, nah. But now that it's at 2, it's fine. Reborn's still good. And then Foolish. This is a 40-card list, so I'm playing Upstart. And then the 2 droplet. This is like Phantasme funnel you into this card going second. It's just the nuts. So then I am playing 3 Allure because it's more spell cards to dig for Engage. Plus it puts more spell cards in Graveyard, etc. And then the 3 Foolish Burial Goods. This card's, obviously, this card does kind of anything you want to. It's Rhoda, dump Crescendo, dump Engage, Engage, whatever you want to do. And then I'm playing 3 Crescendo. This deck, like, you can't really ignore the fact that, like, I think this is probably the best deck that capitalizes off of droplets. I think that, like, droplet going second, like, you lose the die roll, you fucking, even if you don't draw Phantasma, you fucking droplet the board, Crescendo, and then you're just off to the races. So you can proc your own topological Lava Dragon. So, and then for the extra deck, boys, let me sip this real quick. For the Cyberstein, as I mentioned earlier, the exterior. I think the exterior card is just, it's like there'll be like some hands where like your Foolish Burial Goods and like you kind of know the matchup going game 2. This is the only deck in a while that I've side decked with online. So like I kind of know like where I want to go with the deck. That's why I'm not maining Strike. I feel like Strike would be like the side deck card, but Exterio is just, it beats like so many matchups that it's, I don't know. I think this card's worth playing with time. So, and then obviously the 2 Dingirsu. This card's just insane. I don't know, there's not a whole lot to say about that. Link Karibo, probably the best Link 1, right? And then Kagari. We'll only play 1 of this. I don't go super heavy into the Striker list. This is the only Striker card I'm playing. I'm not playing Hayate or the Water one. I think this is all you should need, in my opinion, for the way that this deck plays. So the way that this build is, anyways. 2 Galatea. I was playing 3 of this. I don't think in all the games I played, I think the 3rd one came up 2 or 3 times, but it was like I was already in a losing position, so I was just like, oh, well, you know what I mean. But I think 2 is completely fine if you know what you're doing with it, then it's completely fine. So obviously the Lib, this card's just absolutely insane. This is kind of the Lib and the IP. This is kind of like the combo you want to set up at some point with like Galatea, Ding, and Graveyard, because like sometimes you can go, this will be your board, right? Your end board with like back row. And then like on their turn, obviously you have Galatea and Dingirsu in Graveyard with Symbol Skeleton or Nightmare, and then like you want to either tag out on their first their first card or whatever. I'll go into this in a minute once I hit the link floors, but I'll show you this again. I'm gonna put these inside. And then the 1 Barricade Board Blocker. This card's still just insane to let you dump, and then to add back the Nightmare Phoenix. This is like the card you just throw it back row. Also a flex spot. I haven't summoned it a whole lot, but the card's just insane. The only link 3 is the Unicorn Collector's Rare. Big of fuck. And then for the link 4s, obviously the access code. The access code actually doesn't come up a whole lot, but the card's just too insane to ignore. So, and then the Bomber. This is the kind of the card I built the deck around. I want to say that like this card is just like going first, like I explained with this. So like this will be your board, right? Your end board, or sometimes it's Galatea up here, whatever you want to do. But like you'll first disruption if it's Lib, you'll go into this, and then the Lib will spin a card, and then you have Nightmare and Graveyard. So then you'll Nightmare, dump Gizmek, target this, so it's 38. And then sometimes you'll Skeleton back the Galatea over here. And then you already have, if you already have the Crescendo set, so they can't Dark Ruler this. So that's just something to keep in mind. But like my end board is usually this with back row, or depending. If I'm going second, it's a completely different thing. But you can pivot in the game and play a whole bunch. So, and then the Underworld Goddess. I think this card's just really good too. I chose to play it because like sometimes they'll kind of out. Like sometimes this will happen. Like I said, like with this, and they'll out this. And then they'll be like, oh, you have IP, nobody cares. But like you'll have Phantasma in hand or something. Even if you don't, you still wait till lane 3 for this. So it's just absolutely insane. So then for the honorable mentions, I was playing Ray as instead of Greffer, like I mentioned earlier. And like I said, I don't play that many Sky Striker Link monsters, so I just kind of cut it. It's just it's not super needed. Card's still good though. So and then this was the third drop of the dude. I still need to get an ultimate rare third one of these. So, and then this is the Strike. I was gonna main this, but I want to keep it 40 cards. Like I said, this would be the side deck for sure. And then the extra deck or other honorable mentions. Obviously this through Galatea, if you wanted to. If you don't know how to like play the deck, obviously, like if you want training wheels, then the third's fine. And then this with the Hayate. For the more striker cards, if you played Ray, the Boral Sword kind of comes up a little bit, but not a whole entire lot. And then the last two are just the Cerberus. Cerberus was very good. It's just a thing, like you lock yourself into darks so much with this deck that like I just cut it, so I was like, cool. And Zeroboros, I would only play Zeroboros if like I talk about, like if you take one of my profiles to your locals, you know what people are playing, so you would play accordingly or edit the profile to that local. So if like there was still a bunch of dinosaur players, you would put this in your main deck. You know what I mean? So because this card's really good against dinosaurs. So. But yeah, guys. So thanks for watching. A couple people would ask about the Orcust Sky Striker list, so I wanted to finally post it. Super happy with this deck though. It overperformed for sure. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.